I've got another one for you, Judd. So as a primarily, you know, I trim the jib. One of the hardest things I find is to replicate headstay sag. You know, in the conditions we're likely to see today, which is sort of not quite hiking or even sitting inside the boat, and you're trying to generate that sag. One of the hardest things I find is to replicate accurately something that has such a huge effect on the shape of the jib. Have you got any rules of thumb?
You know, honestly, my rule of thumb is reference marks, because it's hard to get it perfect. You know, you sit to leeward and you look up at the jib and you're like, oh my gosh, there's too much sag. And you get to windward and you know, a different perspective and you're like, oh, it's not enough sag. So it is hard to judge from on the boat, and everybody, you know, talks about how you can sight and all like that. The bottom line is, that's where I really key off my reference marks, because I use the backstay course. I consider it a headstay control in light air. So anything under 9 knots, that I'm adjusting for the headstay. So the nice thing is that boat, you know, here's the Big O oatmeal has a lot of you know, marks there. I really live by the marks. So it's more like you can home in on the right setting and try to be perfect. It's not like there's any absolute, if you change the mast at the bottom, you change the mast at the ram, it affects the headstay, and without even touching the backstay. So that's what I like to use as a reference, and then it's more of a judgment call. We underpowered, we overpowered. Is the, you know, I always look at how the jib snaps are. Naturally, if you have the jib left a little loose, it'll, you know, a little more inversion. The headstay's a little too tight, it'll cause the crow's feet to come back too far, which is a good thing. It's like bending the mast, getting the headstay tight, and that's why in a breeze it's nice to, when you get a tight headstay like you can with these whale masts, you do have to smooth the sail out, because it's like overbending. You're basically taking a sail that's designed for X amount of headstay sag, and you're reducing that sag like you're bending the mast to flatten, and that's what gives you the range of the sail. So that's a nice feature. But what Andrew's alluding to in light air, how do you get enough sag? Let's say the sail is designed for, you know, a certain amount of sag. Let's say designed for 50 millimeters of sag. If you put in 100 millimeters of sag, you're adding 2 inches of depth to the sail. In the middle of the sail, it's a huge impact on the depth of the sail. That's how you get range out of the sail. Once again, by adjusting headstay sag, you're become the sailmaker. It's more than, I could either sell you 6 different jibs, or you can be the sailmaker by adjusting headstay sag and changing your luff curve and the depth of the sail with headstay sag. So that's really the biggest variable in a jib for sure. That and the jib lead, jib sheet. Those are the 3 things.